Fort Suzanne Longland, women's quarterfinal day. Barbara Schwartz, the Austrian pronunciation for all of you back home who may be wondering. Schwartz. Consistency and excellence by Martina Hingis.
Very much so. Usually in a Grand Slam, you're going to have that one bad day where you just don't feel like your coordination is all there, or your opponent's playing out of their minds. But Martina Hingis somehow figures it out on that bad day and gets through the matches. That's the kind of thing that Venus and Serena Williams are going to have to start to learn to do. I think that when Venus played Schwartz the other day, I think that Venus, that's when you have those 3 match points, you finish that match off. And Serena lost to Mary Jo last week. She didn't play well. Serena just didn't have a plan B, didn't have anything else to go to, and she just looked lost and confused out there. Mary Jo Fernandez played a very solid match. But that's the kind of thing where the champions somehow figure it out, scrape through, and move on through the draw. See that Barbara Schwartz hits the ball very hard, very flat, not a lot of margin for error. A lot of unforced errors now. Just missing the shots by about 2 feet. That's what you tend to do when you play Martina Hingis, because she gets so many balls back.
That's how you can save 3 match points in a row.
That's
when you
right.
can hit winners like that.
Saved 1 break point. It's nice to see a little mix up there. She looped in the high top spin. I like to see that the players are thinking out there, always trying something new. And a couple of huge groundies. Look at the footwork here. Gets on terrific balance, has that open stance, so you can't tell which way she's going to go. That's what Hingis has to do, try to keep Schwartz on the run. Thing is, you've got to weather the storm of the power in order to get back in the point and get back in control.
And on the third break point, Hingis now takes the lead in this set, up a break at 4-2.
Mademoiselle Hingis mène par 4-2.
That consistency that we saw Tracy on the Hingis note makes what Barbara Schwartz has accomplished here even more amazing. That she's the first qualifier ever at Roland Garros to make the women's quarters, only the 7th ever in any of the Grand Slams.
Huge surprise. So once you've gotten to the quarters, you've beaten a couple of seeds already, and as a qualifier, you usually just don't have that level of play.
Which leads us to the next point. She's not going to be a qualifier now. She'll be straight in at Wimbledon with her ranking going up. Can she play, Barbara Schwartz, with this kind of game on other surfaces?
Oh, huge. Huge at Wimbledon. I think that I actually think on the other surfaces she'll be tougher, because the power that she has actually gets diffused by the clay. The clay grabs the ball and slows it down, but on the grass, those shots are going to scoot through. Barbara Schwartz is going back to get her towel, taking a little extra time in between the points. Hingis has come in a few times in the last few points. I think that's a smart play on that backhand side of Schwartz. It's been quite successful. Get that slice. Hingis gets that racket head down well below that ball, brushes up and over it.
First double for Hingis.
Hingis.
Now after losing the first 2 games, Hingis has now won 5 straight. On this court, Suzanne Lenglen, Sunday, 4th round, Venus Williams playing a player she'd never seen before in Barbara Schwartz. And Venus would pay a price. Second set, Barbara Schwartz saved 3 match points.
This is her own match point right here. Just powerful ground strokes with great depth and accuracy.
Well, the victory that made her much more of a name in the tennis world, Barbara Schwartz, knocking Venus Williams out here at Roland Garros. And now she's trying to back it up just 48 hours later against #1 Martina Hingis. And after the early thunder off Schwartz's racket, Hingis has turned this thing around.
She really has. Barbara Schwartz came out here a house of fire. Tons of winners in the beginning, but Hingis has gotten it all figured out now, moving Schwartz around, hitting with depth, hitting with angles, coming to the net when she needs to. She can do it all. here. Got down very well and then continued forward. Guessed correctly. Great anticipation that Schwartz was going to go down the line. She's looking very confident today.
Zero count.
Love 40, 3 set points. Martina's mom and coach, Melanie Molitor. Only coach she's ever had. Martina Hingis didn't have as good a year in 1998 as she did in 97. 98 she won 5 tournaments, in 97 12. Still a great year by any standards, but she said last year I didn't want to listen to anybody. But I realized I got to get in better shape, and she has. Went down to the Bollettieri Tennis Academy in the fall for a week or two. Take a look at the Barbara Schwartz backhand. Gets a great shoulder turn. Gets that racket head down low and swings forward with the whole arm.
And a little shriek of anguish from Hingis as she just couldn't reach that very last ball.
Did the splits. Don't want to pull a adductor muscle. Actually, Mary Jo Fernandez pulled an adductor muscle in her doubles match, playing with Monica Seles, and had to default against Arantxa Sanchez Vicario the next round.
Now she couldn't save herself from love 40 again, Barbara Schwartz. We got 2/3 of the way there, but Martina Hingis closes out the first set 6-2.
Deuxième manche, au service, Mademoiselle Hingis.
I think they lost to Lindsay Davenport at the U.S. Open in the finals last year. Shook Hingis up a bit.
I think losing the ranking, the #1 ranking, is what really did it.
Yeah.
I think that,
which went a long way towards that.
Well, which went a long way towards it, but I think it was more losing that ranking that really bothered her. She said that it was easier actually to get the #1 ranking than it was to hold it. And she kind of stopped working as hard as she was and realized that she wanted it back badly. And to me, she looks even more fit than she did at Hilton Head and Lipton earlier this year, just a couple of months ago. After Hilton Head in April, she had about 4 weeks off and stayed in Florida and trained.
It's amazing how perceptions can get altered by success. And you look at the two players in the court here, and Barbara Schwartz is about 19 months older than Martina Hingis.
Mademoiselle Hingis.
Well, Hingis rolling now 7 straight games. Now Well, Martina Hingis came out, watched Barbara Schwartz bang the ball around pretty well the first 2 games, and now Hingis has back to her #1 self. And here, Tracy, following up on your point, I don't like #2, she says.
She's not used to being #2. Frankly, she's been #1 just about her whole life, starting in the 12 and unders. Won the French Open Juniors over here at 12 years old. Started talking about her at that time. So she's used to being a champion, used to being a star, used to being at the top.
There's something else. At a very young age, Martina Hingis has conquered the fear of being honest.
She'll tell you what she feels.
Single service.
Women's tennis so interesting right now is you have Hingis, who's not afraid to be honest. You have both Williams sisters who will tell you which tournaments they're going to win and win. Most of the time it's now they say they're going to win it. So you have Kornikova as well, and makes for great print. Makes it very exciting. Never have dull press conferences.
By the way, I must tell you, I feel a little bit odd here trying to follow in the shoes of John McEnroe, calling these women's matches. You talk about big shoes to fill.
Big shoes. The fact that he's doing a women's match and wants to be here and says such great things about women's tennis now, it's terrific. I think having those 2 little girl youngsters, I just have a 3-year-old and a 9-week-old, 2 little girls, I think that's helped in changing his mind a bit. Whoa, she's toying with her. And that's when you feel toyed with. You hit the second serve, and she kind of hits that lazy kind of drop shot, makes it look so easy. Then she moves in and just lobs it right over your head. Never see the same shot point after point. Always something different. She'll return and come in. She'll serve and volley. She'll hit it hard. She'll hit it soft.
Right now, Martina Hingis has hit everything.
She's hit. That wasn't a bad approach right there. Had plenty of power on it. Look, Martina Hingis gets that front foot established there and then just twists around with that upper body. Terrific pass. First 3 games of the match, Barbara Schwartz only had 2 unforced errors. In the next 5, she had 13. So that's what we talked about. All boils down to whether she can play her style of play. Big, powerful ground strokes without a lot of airs.
So Barbara Schwartz holds and stops that run of 7 straight games for Hingis. You have to go back to 1990. Angelica Gavaldon at the Australian Open, the last time a qualifier reached the quarters of a slam.
0-15.
Brought a little smile to your face.
That's
You were
right.
a player?
Oh, no, I've practiced with her many times. Nice girl. Harold Heck, actually, who works with USA, told me last night that Angelica's working at a tennis club in Los Angeles. Not playing on the tour anymore. She actually had a pretty hard, flat style of play as well. The type of player that can get very dangerous and very hot when the confidence is high. It would be interesting for me me, for Barbara Schwartz, is to see what her results are the rest of the year. See whether she can keep up this consistency. Keep hitting shots like that. She'll have some pretty good results. We all saw Mauresmo get to the finals of the Australian. Hasn't quite gotten up to that level again since then.
Schwartz starting to get hot again. She breaks Hingis to take the lead in the second. Martina Hingis on a roll. Got easily through that first set, but now Barbara Schwartz put 2 strong games together, and she's up a break early in the second.
Martina Hingis in her press conference after her last round talked about the fact that she wasn't playing Venus Williams today and that Serena also lost, and she said, oh, lighting the candles at the Sacré-Cœur worked.
I mean, that's it. There's no diplomacy, is there?
No, you know, I think it's terrific that she admits that she wasn't going to be excited about playing Venus Williams. Last time they played was a couple of weeks ago here in Europe on clay. Hingis lost.
I think that's part of what makes the women's game so interesting to follow right now, Tracy, is this wonderful collision of the young guard, where, of course, Hingis has arrived, and the Williams sisters are right behind her, and others, and the old guard of Graf and Arantxa and Celis are still there saying, no, not so fast.
Yeah, Novotna. Lindsay Davenport's kind of right in the middle.
In the middle.
Hingis wants to get this game. She doesn't want Schwartz to get out to a 3-1 lead in the second set and get that momentum, especially with dangerous shots like this. Really leans into the shot beautifully.
First time down from the chair by Jorge Diaz from Lisbon.
It's called long by the lineswoman, and then she overruled herself. Hingis pointed to a mark, and Jorge Diaz said, yes, that's correct. That mark is on the line. Play 2. Just misses that forehand down the line quite frequently, just hitting the tape. Needs to get a little more topspin on it when she goes for down the line, because that tape is 6 inches higher than it is in the middle. Wow, that was a rough shot. Heavy slice. Looked like Steffi Graf there, the way it stayed down so low, and terrific angle. Goes from high to low, gets right underneath that ball.
40.
Just long.
There was a nervous moment there for a lot of folks looking at that.
Time violation. Warning. Mademoiselle Schwartz.
Moved on in. It's way outside the alley. It's that little extra top spin. Make it go over. You know, she says sorry, but you know what? She's not sorry. She is happy.
What one bounce can mean. And suddenly Barbara Schwartz lost her chance to hold that break, and now we're back even again.
Barbara Schwartz doing a lot of road work out there in the last couple of points. Playing a lot of tennis the last week and a half or two. A lot more than she's used to playing. Not only the physical part of playing tennis, but also you've got to throw in the nerves as well. The emotional part can run you down.
And all the interviews, which apparently is not something Barbara Schwartz has been all that comfortable with. She had to learn that to get used to the routine, the post-match press conferences. And when you beat a Venus Williams, people suddenly want to know a lot more about you.
They want to know a lot about you. Where'd you come from? You know, nobody really knew that much about her. She got to the third round here last year. She's very quiet. Martina Hingis, #1 in the world. She was virtually out of that point a couple of times, but somehow figures herself back into the point and wins it on that beautiful lob. And Ted, that's really what makes a champion. The big points, the crucial points, points that they look like they're out of. Champions are able to turn it around in their favor.
Mademoiselle Hingis.
So Martina Hingis holds on serve in the second. Back at court, Suzanne Longland. Barbara Schwartz has just taken a bathroom break and hoping to regroup here. Martina Hingis playing awfully well. 6-2 in the first. Now on serve in the second. And our match update. The great first serve percentage by Hingis. More errors by Schwartz. Leah Levin alongside once again.
Hingis there anticipating very well, realizing that in the predicament Schwartz was in that last shot. Really tough to hit it anywhere else but up the line. Hingis there with plenty of time. Top spin lob, brushes over it very nicely. Not the fastest player on the tour, but fast enough, and you put that with great anticipation. It's tough to get by her.
0-30.
Talked about Hingis's improved fitness. She lost to Serena Williams at the Lipton, and I think that is actually one of the big shots in the arm that made her realize that she has to become more fit and more strong, because Serena Williams just downright beat Hingis at the Lipton. Just overpowered her, played so much better than her, and Hingis actually looked like a rag doll in some of the points. Just got run ragged out there.
You know, that's a great point you bring up, Tracy, assuming over the long haul that Hingis and perhaps even Kornikova will be rivals with Venus and Serena. How are the first two going to play? Because strength-wise, Venus and Serena can seem to just blow them away.
Well, right now, the head is what's so much better from Martina Hingis. When we saw in the matches here from Venus and Serena that they just didn't think their way out of those tough situations, didn't change their game soon enough, or in Serena's situation at all.
15-40.
Hingis wins without the power of a Mary Pierce or a Davenport. She has to think her way through some matches, and luckily she was born with such great instincts. Couple of break points here.
Crowd trying to rally Schwartz.
That'll get him back involved. You know, it's an intelligent crowd here. They probably know what she's gone through, that she beat Venus Williams. She's a qualifier, and they want to see a good match right here. They want to see a longer match.
Well, they may not. Second double by Schwartz, but it comes on a break point, and Hingis now up 4-2 in the second.
That's what tends to happen. You go for too much on that second serve, because Hingis has really been cutting that return off nice and early, putting pressure on Schwartz. Right off the tape. You can tell by the way the ball bounces when it hits the tape, just scoots through.
Guga is the story here in Paris today.
Guga's been my pick.
Yeah,
right from the beginning.
Much of the coverage. Yesterday's action, of course, the ladies had yesterday off. Much of the coverage yesterday centering on Kierton.
Agassi's looking good, though.
Well, I'm feeling old, and it's as I come here to Roland Garros and you say that, boy, Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf both can see their 30th birthdays right ahead.
Steffi will be 30 in June, a couple of weeks.
And yet both are making a strong run and trying to tell everybody they're not done yet.
Short second serve from Martina Hingis. Still the only part, I think, that can be picked on. So a point to get up 5-2 in the second set. Very clean match for Martina Hingis. Very solid, actually a quicker match than most of her matches that she's played here. Another second serve there. That's what you got to do. Take chances on that second serve from Hingis. Get ahead in the point right away.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Hingis.
this quarter.
Excuse me. Barbara Schwartz says that she's improved her backhand in the last month, and that's been one of the big differences for her getting to the quarters here.
Now the finish for Martina Hingis, and she can see the end. Martina Hingis now trying to finish this out and make the semis. Quarterfinal day that is produced, at least for these players, fairly good playing conditions. One thing that's happened, the sun is ducking in and out. Is that difficult adjustment during a match for the players?
Not really. Not like today. It's not a bright sun. It's really actually a great day to play. It's not too hot. Last 4 or 5 days have been much, much hotter. Just a slight breeze. Hingis has played a very solid and clean match. It's been 94 points, and she's only made 11 errors. Talked about the fact that Schwartz could attack Hingis' second serve. Well, Hingis has gotten in 76% of her first serves. Extremely good first service percentage. Another thing that Hingis does well, Ted, is she wrong foots her opponents a lot. Smart thing to do on play, especially someone like Barbara Schwartz, who's 5'11". It's not easy to change directions for her.
Hold on.
Well, here's where Martina Hingis will put into effect what she learned watching Venus Williams 2 days ago. Don't let this player off the mat. Well, Martina Hingis, for the third consecutive year at Roland Garros, is into the semis. And for the 11th straight time at a Grand Slam, world #1 has made the semifinals. 6-2, 6-2 over the qualifier, Barbara Schwartz.